Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The new drug today is a practice on the ball field, Carlyon. Frangie Carlyon La Selva with you. I'm out of breath.
The first step to the Super Bowl has officially been taken.
Let me tell you what happened. So there's a chance when Max was in here reading the update. Great job, Max. Mm-hmm. I may or may not have forgot my headsets down the hall. You know what I did?
Sprinted.
About a 4.21.
Nice.
Not going to lie. You think Deion was fast at the combine? 4.21.
Uh-huh.
Just saying that. I mean, if you were
I saw you high-stepping on your way back.
Listen, there's no question. I mean, I almost moonwalked back after I realized I'd set the 1010XL hallway record.
Right.
I was, it's all about records.
Yeah.
So there's it. Love being out of practice today. It felt
great.
It felt like I was out there thinking, does it feel like it's been forever, or does it feel like it really hadn't been that long? I'm happy it's back, but I couldn't get my head around kind of which one it was.
It's a great point because normally it feels like it just takes forever. For some reason, this offseason feels like it went by faster. Now, we had the stadium, which was certainly a unique storyline to an offseason. So, that certainly kept us busy at times. But it does. I thought the same thing in that it doesn't feel that long ago that we were opening up camp last year. And so maybe that's just me getting older, but I kind of was more on the side of, boy, it feels like we just did this.
Same.
It was fun. It was really fun, but so it's not a complaint, but it did feel like, boy, that off season zipped by.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is, and we talked about this yesterday, why the team feels good about its direction. It was such an active off season. I mean, remember now the season ended. A day later, the defensive staff was fired. Not long after that, we had an announcement of who the new defensive staff was going to be. Before long after that, all the while, by the way, we're talking about a stadium. Before long, here comes free agency where they were very active. Right after that, there's a draft where they might have done very well. Then here comes a 2-month stadium conversation with get-togethers in the public and then a vote when more get-togethers, and then you look up, it's camp. So you don't. Yeah. It almost like it was all Jaguar news was spread out across the offseason.
It was incredible, and obviously you had the the extension for Josh Hines Allen,
and there was that too.
Yeah, Trevor's extension, and then Tyson right before they reported for camp. So it really was about as newsy an offseason as you probably will see until they win the Super Bowl. And then, that would be obviously a dream off season and one in which there would be, incredible news all the time. But yeah, I mean, in terms of signing, 3 players of your core, fixing your stadium problem for 30 years.
Right.
I mean, how magnificent that deal was for both parties and everything else that went into it. So, there's always going to be, highs for an off season. Free agency is usually going to be active. It probably won't be as active around here anymore as it has been, but that's going to be a hot week of news. The draft is obviously going to be a hot week of news. But, beyond that, you're not really guaranteed a whole lot. And boy, this off season, it was just blockbuster story after blockbuster story. And you blink and we're watching them practice for the first time. So, they don't quit.
Right.
The quitting time now is going to be middle of January and hopefully beyond that.
The quitting time is the week after the parade, okay?
Yeah.
That's when the quitting time is, Hays Carlyon. That's when the quitting time is. The parade will happen right around Valentine's Day, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So you'll quit right before St. Patrick's Day, and then you got the Players' Championship. So I'm thinking season, Super Bowl championship, parade, players.
Sounds good to me.
There's not much time in between.
I'll stick a March Madness.
I'm telling you. See, so I hope you're rested.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely rested.
I hope you're
if I'm not rested, shame on me.
That part's not a problem.
Yeah.
All right. A lot to get to today. First impression. Listen, it's a short practice. Yeah. Nobody's in pads. A lot of it's stretching and drilling, and we were all out there by 8:30 when it started. You probably got there a little earlier for the presser. I got there right at 8:30 when the team was walking out on the field. And it was stretching and that and playing catch. And so it was probably 9:15 before the football team started practicing football, I would say. So it was a short drill, no contact. But yeah, there's some early impressions. Anything jump off the page early for you?
I thought the defensive backs played well as a group, considering. I thought Tyson Campbell made a nice play on a ball. Jarian Jones was very active. So, that was good to see. Trevor looked good throwing the ball. So what you would expect, some ups and downs for both the offense and defense. I thought it was interesting seeing, how would they use Cam Robinson and what would you see anything there? And it looks like Cam Robinson is, in good shape and, was taking his normal work. So, that was interesting to see. And yeah, I thought it was a good workout. Doug mentioned that they crushed the conditioning test, which is great to see. So everybody looked like, they were in, top form. I think there was only one player that sort of battled heat illness, and it's a player that I don't expect to be on the 53. So I would say that in terms of the heat, I think the players, 99% of them didn't have any issue with it. So I thought a good first day, no injuries. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and a good and I like start at 8:30. Day one, get out of there by 10:30 before it gets hot. They're practicing in the morning now. They will be 8:30 practices. At least first week and a half or so. I think they're originally scheduled for 9. They even moved them up a half hour or more. And so I like that. I like the feel of it. I thought that's been the Doug Peterson way. He did it at Episcopal.
That facility is so gorgeous, too. I mean,
it really is.
Last year it was sort of you're getting used to everything and the new routine. So you knew how gorgeous the Miller Electric was last year. But I definitely have even more of a appreciation for how great that facility is. Now that you're used to it, we've had OTAs, but now that you start up the second training camp there, what just a spectacular facility.
Yeah, it really, really is. So we're going to talk all about what we saw today. We're going to hear one of those terrific Hays Carlyon one-on-ones today with Christian Kirk. Maybe as important a player as there is on this team, other than the one or two key guys. We'll certainly talk about that. I'll tell you what stood out to us a little. I'll get to some of that specific stuff in a bit. And then we'll talk all about the Jags. We'll talk to them about some other teams in the NFL. The Rose Bowl has some news. We'll get to that, get even a little baseball. But it's mostly Jags today, as you would imagine it would be. Very good to be out on the field on day number 1 of training camp. Doug Peterson went first. He spoke even before the practice at 8:15, asked a lot of questions you might imagine. But the obvious one is, hey, look, it didn't end so well last year. Sometimes when you play really well, you got to make sure you don't have the big head. When you play not so well at the end of the year, you want to regain your confidence. Doug was asked as he looks back at last year what he takes out of that.
Just looking back and learning on, some of those moments last year, especially the end of the season, we have to stay grounded. We got to continue to trust each other, right? Trust our process, the standard that we've put in place here. And regardless of what happens, injuries are going to be a part of our game and at every position. And it's got to be a next man up type mentality. And that's got to be the message moving forward, that it takes – it takes everybody, and we kind of stressed that this offseason, and making sure that everybody is a part of it, right? And we're developing the entire team, and not just a certain few. And I think that's the key with the back half of the season, right? When you get into late November, December, early January, that you're going to have to play some of your younger players to carry you through to where you want to be.
And you'll begin the season with some older players. Sometimes you need veterans to kind of stabilize the locker room a little bit. Doug talked about the fact that Mitch Morse is here, Eric Armstead is here, and what veterans can mean.
Well, it sends a message to them like this is how a pro takes care of himself physically, right, and mentally, how he approaches every single day, and just his leadership style, how he can bring along young guys. This is going to be really good for Luke, and to see just how Mitch operates, and that's what vets do, and he's a guy that's willing to show others how to do it, and I think that's important. I think Eric Armstead, when we get him on the field too, I think that's another one that could be great for Trayvon, right? To be able to see just what it takes. So they're very similar positionally. They can both go inside, outside, and then physically they're both kind of the same. So it'll be great for both those guys really to lead, probably more by example.
And speaking of those defensive guys, this is a true base 4-3 now that I've said all along will help Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen because they're now true ends. Doug was talked about the assist those guys will get as well.
Again, I think this is really this scheme is going to help Trayvon. It's going to help Josh. I think it's just going to utilize the strengths of both of those players. And I think it's the reason why we drafted Trayvon, right? And the reason why Josh is here and we extended Josh. I mean, it's their skill set is to get after quarterbacks, and the two of them together is a pretty good group, in this league. And I just think that the changes we've made they're gonna benefit from that.
And finally, it's been said 1,000 times, and this will probably be one of the last times that Doug Peterson wants to talk about it. But last season didn't end so well. 8-3 start, a layup to win the division, many thought, and then it got away from them. They finished 1-5. You all know the numbers by now, and we're very disappointed the way it ended. Doug said, "Listen," he's asked about the fact that can the players use that as motivation.
I think you're going to hear it when you ask them. That it's motivation, it's fuel. It was a disappointing, way to our end of our season. As high it was for the first 11 games, it was just as low, the last 6. So, but again, it's all stuff we can learn from, right? And how it motivates guys and how we can, lean on those experiences, coaches and players, and with the addition of the new guys, hopefully that helps us get through those times.
Hard not to like this guy, Doug Peterson, speaking all about his team. One point he made that I want to emphasize here for a second, Hays, the Morton Armstead comment. It's clear they want a veteran guy around, and if you look around, there's veterans in almost every room now. There's think about that. There's C.J. Beathard in the quarterback room. There's now you already had Christian Kirk, now Gabe Davis in the receiver room. You brought in Mitch Morse in the offensive line room. You already had Evan Ingram in the tight end room. You brought in Eric Armstead in the defensive line room. You already had Foye Oluokun in the linebacker room. Ronald Darby's in the secondary room. They really brought in veteran guys. And I will tell you this, even if it's not sports, it can be a law firm or an accounting firm that you could look up one day and your 30-year trial lawyer has had enough and retires, and another guy, his partner, says, if you're getting out, I'm getting out. And the next thing you know, you got the sharp attorney that you hired out of Harvard who's really good, but he's young, and all of a sudden the average age in your office comes way down, and you probably lose that veteran presence. It's not just a sports thing. It's in all businesses. If you look up and all of a sudden there's not that leadership, it's not by design. You didn't try to change your leadership. You just, the rub of the green, all of a sudden old guys went out. And I think he saw that in his team. I think the Mitch Morris and the Eric Armstead and the Ronald Darbys, I think there's a reason 30-somethings are here. And I think that's a big deal to culture, to building the culture, which is so important to Doug. And I think that was all by design. I really do.
Well, and they needed players that can play with some nuance to their game and some savvy. And I mean, so it was imperative. Obviously, they had to upgrade at center. I mean, that goes without saying. But part of that upgrade, as smart as Luke Fortner is having a guy like Mitch Morse that's got 100 starts under his belt and knows how to play this league, knows leverage, and just has more of a vast experience of what you can and can't get away with at this level. I think you look at Gabe Davis, he's going to have more of that, although he's still a very young man, and he's kind of like Tyson Campbell. It's like, how is he this young and he's already on his second contract with a new team? It's kind of like that with Tyson, as we talked about. This is his year 24 season. But it feels like he's been here, much longer than that. And so, yeah, in looking at it, and obviously Armstead, I think it means more in the trenches. I think you can get away with the lack of experience on the outside. I think that's where the athleticism really carries the day. There's certainly something to be said to playing with savvy on the perimeter, but in the trenches, I think you just got to have it. I mean, you've got to know how to play at this level, and the things again that you can do and that you can't do. And Morse and Armstead are going to have a much greater understanding of that than the younger guys that they're supplanting.
And I think there's a reason they're there, and that's one of the main ones. Let's take a break. When we come back, the first Hays Carlyon one-on-one of the football season. Christian Kirk, you started off with an awfully good player. Hays and Christian, that's how we'll kick off the next segment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Jags. Subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. One-on-one interviews with players, practice footage, podcasts, and more. If you're looking for the best Big Cat coverage around, look no further. 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube.
It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 per month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Shop the Big One sales event, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm Agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
You've got questions, and so do we. 1010XL gets you answers from the coaches and players at ACC Kickoff.
Fantastic.
Brought to you by
Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler?
Aaron Burr.
Dueler?
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. It's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, with the answers to the questions I'm asked the most. Yes, we are local, and no, I'm not hiring an actor to read these commercials. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
This is Hays Carlyon for Sky Life Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at Sky Life Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. Sky Life Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
You know what I need, Carlyon?
What's that?
One-on-ones. I mean, I've waited too long for these. Listen, I don't criticize you much. Okay, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding?
But I appreciate the attempt.
But I'm disappointed that we don't have 365 of these.
Yeah.
I mean, really? Dave Grohl? Over a one-on-one with Brandon Sheriff? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's priorities, bro.
Yeah, we may get to 365 this year. You know, we're going to be in the locker room a little bit more than what we've been the last couple of years, thanks to the schedule change. So I can make 365 a goal for the season.
One of the things I really do enjoy on our radio station, and the Jags PR people do a great job of making it possible. I heard both Mia and Joe's one-on-ones today on their program. They did a terrific job with those, and I really do enjoy those. And I think Hays does such a good job with these one-on-ones, and you've been doing it for all these years. So I think one of the best things we do is let you get to know these players. And Christian Kirk might be as good a guy and as good a player as there is on the football team. Hays caught up with Christian today after practice.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars receiver Christian Kirk here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as always.
How's off-season, family? How's everybody doing?
Good. You know, we are the few people that are not smart enough to stay away from the heat and go back to Arizona. So a couple weeks in 115. A little different getting back here with the humidity, but it was good to be back home and, just have some weeks away and, really get the body and mind ready to go for training camp.
Christian, what do you work on this time of year to improve your game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just, getting my speed back up to par, really getting myself to where I can, open up down the field and getting in and out of my breaks and whatnot, just getting myself kind of calloused, for football season. Earlier in May, April, that OTA time, you're kind of just knocking the rust off, getting your feet back underneath you. It's more of a mental thing, and then it turns into physical. So just getting myself in playing shape, and, even the early weeks at camp, it's just, feeling bodies on you, evading from defenders and whatnot. But first day felt great.
You're clearly the leader in the room. Brian arrives, Gabe arrives. What's that like in terms of, with Zay and Calvin moving on, to be the guy that's been here now now is established here, and is the leader of the receivers.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels great actually. It's a position that I don't take lightly. I love having that role where guys in the room can feel like they can come to me and look to me for guidance and leadership and how it's done. And I think it's part of being in the NFL. I had a lot of vets and older guys that passed some things down to me. So now it's my turn to kind of pay it back and pay it forward, to other guys. So it's good, but having Gabe, who's been in it for a while and has that experience, played at a high level, even guys like Devin Duvernay who have been in the league for a little bit, it's good to have some other guys in the room too, to where it just doesn't have to be me. It can be other people, and you can kind of pick from one another. But even the young guys, we have a really talented group, so everybody's doing a good job of just kind of being a sponge and learning from one another.
How much can that deep speed that Gabe and Brian bring, how much can that help you and Evan with the short intermediate stuff?
Yeah, I think it's great anytime you can attack all aspects of the field on any given play. And Press and Doug, they do a great job of just mixing personnel and really identifying what each guy does really well, and putting them in positions to do that, especially when it comes Sunday game planning and creating mismatches. So I think everybody, from an aspect of not only down the field, but both Gabe and BT are really great route runners. They're great at creating separation. They're big bodies, so some of those intermediate across the middle of the field and whatnot catches that they have to make, they can do it. So I think we have a really dynamic room.
With it being year 3 with you, Trevor, Doug, Press, are there nuances that you're excited about as the offense evolves?
Yeah, I think we're just, you kind of hit it on the head. We're still evolving. There's some things that we've been really good at for the past 2 years that we can make tweaks to, and, we can kind of start getting a little bit more creative with some of the fundamentals that we have and some of the basic things that we do. So it's just playing around with different things, and the time to do it is now. So come week 1, we know what we're really good at, and we know we can kind of hang our hat on, certain things to be able to take advantage of the defense.
How much has it helped the locker room seeing Trevor, Josh Hines-Allen, and obviously Tyson get these huge lucrative contract extensions?
I think it's big, and it goes to show the young guys that, hey, if you come here, handle your business, and go about it the right way, you'll be rewarded for it. And I think the biggest thing, and the thing that is a common denominator with all 3 of those guys is they're great people, and they're great leaders, and they're great teammates, and that's number one. And I know, especially here with the culture that we're trying to build for a long time, is the type of character guy we have, and those 3 guys are 3 of the highest character guys we have. So that's first and foremost, just the type of people that they are. And then not only that, but just players. They're all elite players, and it's really happy to see them be able to get rewarded for the hard work and effort that they've put in.
Christian Kirk, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck in camp.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ed.
Appreciate Christian's time. I think he's going to have a huge year. I really can't wait to see him get back out there, because I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago about looking at his career high totals, and I think he's going to go over all of them except maybe touchdowns. I think his receiving touchdowns, his career best is 7. That sounds about where I would expect him to come in, but I think this could be 110 catches and 1,400 yards for Christian Kirk this year.
Well, and Bucky Brooks made the point on the program on Monday. It was a great point. He said, I've been saying all along that stretching the field changes the defense, and I think Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. will stretch the field. I really believe that. They'll make defenses play differently. And there's running lanes and blah, 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 but Bucky made the point that crossing route, the crossers that Christian Kirk was so good at 2 years ago, will be way more open now because the outside guys have stretched the field. And I think it's a very good point. I'll say this, and you and I have done this show together a long time, so you know this. 2 years ago, when they signed him, he was my favorite free agent out there for them to sign. Mitch Morse was last year. I wanted them to sign Christian Kirk even before it looked like they were going to. When they did sign him and paid him so much money and people were critical of the money, I loved it. I thought he was going to be really good. And the third thing is, last year, I'll say it again, they were 8-3 and driving for a first possession touchdown against the Bengals when he got hurt. That's a reality. 8-3 and driving for a first possession touchdown, and they wound up going 1-5 after that injury. So I'm not saying that's the only reason. I was on with Paul Allen today, and we go on with each other. All the play-by-play guys go on with each other. And I was on with Paul Allen today in Minnesota. and the play-by-play guy there, and Paul said, "What do you think happened last year?" I said, "Paul said, I don't want to attribute it just to one injury. It's a next man up league, and there's a lot of players, and I get that. But they were 8-3 and driving for a first possession touchdown when Christian Kirk got hurt. That's a reality, and a real reality. And then the next thing you know, they're not very good. So I'm really glad he's back. I'm glad they have him. I think he'll mesh so well with those other receivers. You know how close Trevor Lawrence and he are. They play golf together a lot. They're buddies. In fact, I'm going to play the Trevor comments in the second hour of the program, and you'll hear him talk about Christian Kirk. So I'm really glad he's back. Great interview, as always, from you. Great to have one-on-ones back and great to have Christian Kirk back. We'll take a break. What I do need back is headlines. Now, this didn't distract you from the headlines, did it?
I was massively distracted today, but I've put together a few that I hope you'll enjoy.
Hays' headlines are next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold & Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The middle of your workday sure isn't boring when you share it with XL Prime Time.
Boy, you don't know how glad we are to see you guys.
Joe C., Matt Hays, and Leon.
The dream team, baby.
Friends and Sports Talk.
Can we talk?
Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
It's time to fire up your grill, shoot off some fireworks, and launch one of the biggest sales in the history of the United States. It's our independent sale happening right now at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. Whether you drive a car, a truck, or an EV, everyone is welcome to celebrate our independent sale with the lowest prices, largest inventory, and the most love for our country. Come celebrate with Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. You don't want to miss this.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Bolt City Heating and Air is here to keep you cool this summer. Anytime, any day, whenever you need fast, reliable air conditioning service. Their friendly technicians have fully stocked work vans, so they can get your AC done on site the same day. Rely on a family-owned Jacksonville-grown company this summer to keep your home cooling system working smarter, not harder. Experience the Bolt difference. Visit BoltCityAC.com to schedule your service appointment. BoltCityAC.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? It's time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
I'm Hacker, and Denny Thompson and I will navigate you through the Florida football offseason during the Gator Bites podcast, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. New episodes drop every Friday. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect beer for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. It's Matt Hays. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major. Year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to come out and experience one of the most beautiful and unique golf courses in North Florida. Affordable golf, friendly service, and great times in the Hills Grill after play. Book your tee time, hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL breaks down training camp all day. Listen for camp news with analysis and insight from the practice feed. Everything counts! 1010XL's training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control. 1010XL is presented by Barra & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva are here. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you do, give them a call at 251-1111.
If I get less than I deserve now, I'll call Holt right now. I might sue your ass before the show's over. Right before the show's over.
A heck of a case,
okay, good.
I think here. But let's get to it. Jaguars day one. Frank, just who stood out to you? It looked like Tyson Campbell, Jarian Jones had some nice breakups, but your overall thoughts?
Yeah, there were. Caleb Johnson had an interception. Ronald Darby had an interception. So I thought the defensive guys made plays, but I liked the length and feel of those wide receivers. It was the passing game isn't as good the first day because you just haven't been out there doing it. I find pitching and catching is usually better 4 or 5 days in before you hit, but while they've been out there for a while. But I was probably preordained to watch it anyway because I was just so excited about that element. But they stood out. Boy, they're a big team. They're big. They're heavier. Their pass rushers are bigger. Josh Allen's big. Josh Hines Allen is big. Trayvon Walker looks great. I thought they looked good today.
Doug Peterson met with reporters prior to the practice and was asked about the play calling. He said, well, Press Taylor is calling plays today and did not want to elaborate further on how that process is going to go. What do you make of the Jaguars' play calling decision that the head coach has to make?
I think Doug wants Press to call the plays so Doug can do other things as a head coach. I don't know that it will land there. Doug's never told me that. There's not inside information that wink, wink, here's what the coach told me. Just hearing his public comments, knowing him like I do, I don't think he would have handed it off to Press, decided it didn't go well, and then take it back. But look, Trent Baalke, when asked, pretty much said, if you're good at it, why give it up? I think Shad Khan said the same thing when he was asked. And so I think Doug knows that other people would like to see him call the plays. I also think Doug knows that or believes he can do other things if the press calls the plays. So I think he's a little bit torn on it. And I think he has been torn. I think he remains torn on it.
One thing that would certainly help whoever is calling the plays is if Trevor Lawrence can hold on to the ball in the pocket. He was asked today when he met with reporters after practice about working on his ball security and avoiding the fumbles. JJ's got that for us.
Just being smart, knowing when, some situations, knowing when to take a sack. A lot of them are coming from you're getting tackled and you're trying to escape, so the ball gets loose or whatever, and then it gets hit from somebody else. So that's one instance. If you're getting sacked, just sometimes you just got to take it and go down in space, tucking it, not getting wide, taking certain hits. And then in the pocket, it's two hands, it's tight to the body. When you feel the pocket collapsing, it's being able to tuck it, all those things.
I think the first thing he said in that bite is take your sack and go down. I've said this consistently, Hays. You and I have had this conversation. I've had it with others. Trevor's going to be really good. The biggest step for him to take that next step forward, in my opinion, is to learn what plays not to try to make. And he pretty much said it right there. If it's not there, take your sack or throw the ball away. Don't keep the play alive. Keep the play alive because you're trying to make a magical play, and the magical play could turn into a ball get knocked out of your hands. That is the next step to me, and it's very healthy to hear him say that, because certainly he's attuned to it as well.
Cornerback Tyson Campbell also met with reporters after the first practice at training camp to discuss his lucrative extension. So, Frank, it got me thinking, we don't talk about, Tyson Campbell's potential career here, but now that we know he's going to be here for many years, do you get a sense Tyson Campbell might go down as one of the greatest Jaguar defenders? Do you see that potential in him?
I'm not there yet. Potential, yes. Yes, I need to see more of him. I haven't seen him flash quite enough. I think he's a really good, solid player. I think he's a really good player. But Rasheed Mathis was a really good Jaguar now. What'd you say yesterday, 32, 33?
I think he has the team record with 32 career
That's
picks.
a lot of interceptions. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of interceptions. And but I think Tyson's a very good player, very good guy, works very hard. So I think he'll be a good player. I haven't seen enough of a flash yet to say I'm wondering if he'll be one of the best defensive players they've ever had. I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally fair. Let's get it to around the NFL. Kyle Shanahan reached out to Bill Belichick to be the 49ers defensive coordinator this year. Belichick politely declined, but how about that?
Well, I mean, Billy needs a job.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
What a coup that would have been for the 49ers.
Well, but listen, you can't live on savings forever.
Yeah,
I mean, at some point, you got to be gainfully employed.
Yeah, well, he's got a reverse mortgage.
So there's that. Well played. Yeah, that was kind of a cool touch. I don't think Billy's going to be anybody's coordinator.
There was other interesting San Francisco news. Left tackle Trent Williams and receiver Brandon Ayuk are holding in, not practicing because of contract disputes, so something to watch there in 49ers camp. There were also a couple of fights around the league today. The Jaguars started today, but other teams have been going at it for a few days. The Kansas City Chiefs had an incident where George Karlaftis knocked Kadarius Toney to the ground. Toney gets up, throws the ball at Karlaftis. Scuffle breaks out between several players. Kelsey very heated. So interesting there in Chiefs camp and in Houston camp.
It's crazy to hear about Toney being involved in drama.
Isn't that really surprising?
Go figure.
He's just Mr. Football. He's a pro's pro.
Would have never guessed that.
And then in Houston's camp, cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. Hit tight end Dalton Schultz really hard to the ground. That caused some tempers to flare. So you gotta love it. We're just getting started here, but there's nothing better than just a training camp
scrap
brawl.
I was talking to Baselli and Bucky Brooks. The three of us were talking for a while today, and they both made an interesting point. Back when they played, it was two-a-days. You stayed out longer. You hit more. And that's when they said that's when there were a lot of camp fights because you were just so hot and so tired and it was so grueling that you were looking for someone to fight. And they made the point that there's far fewer fights now And when there are fights, it's later in camp when you're finally worn down. That's why today's are surprising. You don't get a lot of first and second day fights.
No.
You know what you get? You get day 14 fights.
Yes.
Because you're hot and you've been out there and you're ready for camp to break.
Yeah.
That's unusual to have a lot of fisticuffs this early.
I thought so as well, and there's good video out there. So this was not just like 2 seconds and they parted ways. It was interesting to say the least. I agree with you. Early in camp, I think the joint practices have helped that as well in terms of breaking it up. I always hearken back to Tyson Alualu and Clay Harbor getting into a fight at Jaguars training camp probably 7 or 8 years ago, and Alualu took off Harbor's helmet, and had he hit him with the punch that he threw, Clay Harbor would still be in the hospital.
Really?
But Alualu did not connect, and it was quickly broken up.
I remember the one. Who was the tank? The defensive lineman?
Red Bryant.
Red Bryant.
Yeah.
Red Bryant
buried Zane Beadles under the stadium.
I said tank.
Yeah.
It was Red. Red Bryant and Zane Beadles.
Yeah.
That one. That's the most poignant to me.
Yeah.
Of all the ones I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, buried him.
That was a good one. Let's get it to Major League Baseball. Paul Skeens pitched well last night, got the loss, but Frank, tell us all about it.
Not happy. Okay, we did beat the Cardinals, the hated Cardinals, 2 out of 3.
What do you think about leaving him in till the ninth?
Well, you know what, though? I was watching it, and they did the right thing. He was only 70-some-odd pitches.
Okay.
They weren't touching him. It was two hits,
I watched
no
most
walk.
of it here, but when I got home from work, I looked to see the score, and I was shocked that he was still in the game. But, the pitch count was conservative.
2 hits, no walks.
He's awesome.
I mean, he hung one curveball, and Arenado hit it out. And then he had another hit somewhere. 2 hits and no walks as he went to the ninth. There's nothing like this guy. I mean, 2 hits, no walks.
The only time to get him is at the beginning of an inning.
That's right.
You got to jump on him.
But, I mean, there's nothing like this guy. There's nothing. Honestly, there's nothing. I'm watching the whole thing last night. I'm thinking, don't give this guy some runs. By the way, this is he's had 12 starts now. It's his first loss. He's 6-1. If they were not such a just this disgustingly pathetic offense, he'd be 10-1. So or 11-0.
Yeah.
So he's been good. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
That is. That's incredible.
I mean, I'm telling you, there's nothing like the guy. And I would say that if he pitched for the Mariners.
Oh, right.
I mean, it just so happens he pitches for my team. So
that's awesome. The Brewers are placing All-Star outfielder Christian Yelich on the 10-day DL with back inflammation. He leads the NL right now in batting average.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a really good player. They've let him off a lot this year, and nobody hits for high averaging. So now he's a Christian Yelich is a really good player. I'll always appreciate him because when he was on the Marlins, we did the spring training trip. Is how engaging he was. Turned out to be a really good dude. So he's a guy you kind of root for a little.
Former most valuable player.
Yeah, very good player.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys informed me about this right before we came back. In NBA news, TNT is out and Amazon is in officially.
JJ, you speak to this better than I will, but they didn't want TNT because they could have had them.
Well, yeah. So TNT matched Amazon's offer yesterday. And so the NBA basically just had a choice between those. And in my opinion, the NBA made the smart decision because, listen, if you want a TV partner for the future, why would you go to a cable TV channel? Everyone has access to Amazon. Barely anyone my age has access to TNT anymore, and obviously that's the demographic they're going for.
When JJ said it to us during the break, he said in the break what he just now said on air. 2 things. A, it's preposterous that more people have Amazon than cable. B, it's 100% correct.
Yeah.
It's 100. I mean, old. What do you call them? There's something. Olds. What else are we old people called?
Boomers.
Old heads or old heads. Old heads. Old souls. We old people. The olds. Okay. Even the olds have Amazon. I mean, think about it.
My parents have Amazon.
There's nobody that doesn't have Amazon. Nobody. Yeah. You can be 90 and you got Amazon.
Right.
But to JJ's point, if you're 30, you probably don't have TNT. I mean, just hearing that, how egregiously, ridiculously true it is, makes no sense, but it really is.
It really is. It's.
I hate it that we might lose inside the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you have to think
they'll bring it?
They're gonna have. They'll figure something out to keep enough of that together.
Here's what I think.
I mean, honestly, it's Barkley. I mean, the other guys are good,
right.
But if
I agree.
To me, Barkley could elevate 3 new people.
I 100% agree. But back to the show itself. Ernie Johnson's a TNT guy. Yeah, his dad was a TNT guy.
Right.
I'm not sure he'd be here, but I don't know that he can lead. He's got to be the TNT guy. But the other three, just pop in a new host, and Ernie's great, by the way. But pop in a new host and just hire the same show and put it on somewhere else. That's what I'd like to see.
I agree.
I hope ESPN doesn't hire Barkley and ruin him with their 2-second halftime shows.
Yeah.
Where he has 8 other people at the desk.
Very good point.
Yes,
Very good point.
It is. Let's get it to the Olympics. Canada is cheating in women's soccer. I don't know if you've seen this story.
Well, I mean,
they are flying drones over the New Zealand practice. An assistant coach and analyst have been sent home. Yeah. This is the world we live in.
Is his name Connor Stallions?
Canada. Yeah, it's a great question.
No,
Canada is cheating in women's soccer.
No, but listen, Hayes, I've tried to tell you this. My women's soccer insiders have told me they've always done it. So finally they got caught. I mean, all of us that follow the sport the way I do, we knew. We knew the Canucks were doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they got caught.
Let's move it to pop culture and get it to Gotham. Entertainment Weekly has a cool story about HBO's new series, The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell. The story takes place right after The Batman ended, the movie that came out in 2022 with Robert Pattinson as the Cape Crusader. So this show, The Penguin, takes place right after The Batman ended and will bridge the gap between the film and its sequel, which comes out in 2026. HBO will debut The Penguin in September, so something kind of cool to look out for if you enjoy the Batman universe.
I got a question about that.
Okay.
A serious question.
Sure.
How do people like you that love the Avengers stuff feel, and Batman's a big part of the Avengers stuff, even though he's not an Avenger, is that genre?
Right, the super comic book movie.
How do people that watch that feel about the silly Batman, Adam West and Burt Ward?
I think they like it.
Do they?
There's a nostalgia.
Do they?
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, I always wondered because Batman is so serious and tough and intense now.
Yeah, this new series is especially dark.
Yeah,
I think it's only for adults.
Well, and Batman
without a doubt,
Batman got darker and darker.
Sure.
As it went, but the series. But I wonder, how do they feel about fun Batman?
I think they like fun Batman.
It.
Because I'll say this, being 48, that show was on when I was a kid.
Right.
And so I loved it.
Yeah,
and
I did too.
And even when the Tim Burton Batman came out in 1989, I remember thinking, I was 13, but I remember thinking, boy, this is a little darker and weirder than what I'm used to. I liked it. It was good. But it for a lot of my childhood, Batman was kind of like that. Was more that Adam West, fun, goofy villains, not Zowie. Yeah, right.
Boom.
I can tell you, JJ, Hayes knows this. I don't know if I've said it with you running our show, but the first television show I ever saw in color. We got a color TV in 1969. And his first show was Batman. I remember where I was sitting. I remember me and my mom and dad watched. It was the greatest thing ever. Oh. So that's the silly Batman will always be Batman for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to a flashback today in the world of sports. This happened back in 1983. Poor George Brett.
Uh-oh. It's gone. And now the Royals have the one-run lead. George Brett has just homered, and Billy Martin and the Yankees want the bat. Look at Martin.
Well, what they're talking about, Frank, is that he's got too much pine tar, and you've got to have a certain amount of distance from the trademark of the bat and the pine tar. They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, the Yankees win. He's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look at this. Brett is out. And
he's steaming mad.
He is out and having to be forcibly restrained from hitting plate umpire Tim McClellan. And the Yankees have won the ball game 4-3. Brett is called out for using an illegal bat.
That is fantastic. JJ, who is that?
I'm not sure.
On the call, okay.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't think it was Mel Allen, even though he had a little bit of a southern accent. I don't think it was Mel Allen. Yeah. If you haven't seen the video, and many sports fans have, there's nothing quite like George Brett storming out of that. George Brett storming out of that dugout was one of the great memories of baseball video that I have.
It is the definition of irate.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
livid.
And Tim McClellan, by the way, the home plate umpire, is 6'6".
Yeah.
And I thought Brett was going to take him down.
I agree.
I didn't realize it ended the game.
I didn't either. It was interesting going back and looking at it today. And I also didn't know this. So Kansas City protested to the American League. They won the protest. So the game was resumed 25 days later with the Brett home run counting, and the Royals won the game 5-4, which I didn't remember. That
Yeah.
I thought that just ended it.
Oh, no. They won the. Oh, I didn't know you didn't know. Yeah, they won the protest and won the game.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't change the beautiful moment.
Oh, just absolutely. So, that was a lot of fun. And we have one more flashback for you, our musical element of the day. Today, back in 1982, Survivor's epic theme for Rocky III, Eye of the Tiger, begins a 6-week run as the #1 song on the Billboard 100.
One of the greatest, if not the greatest, movie anthems ever.
Without a doubt.
If not the greatest, one of the greatest. I mean, as movie anthems go, I mean, this is just absolutely spectacular.
And it totally sets the tone for the film.
Absolutely does. Great stuff. We're very well done. You didn't mail it in. I was betting on the mail it in. Okay, I might have lost the bet here. Well done. Very nice. When we come back, more Jaguars talk. You want to hear from Trevor Lawrence? Some of his thoughts were today. You'll hear some of that. We'll talk about some other things in the world of sports as well. We got an hour to go. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Because life without sports is missing the Jaguars and the Gators and the Knowles and the Dogs. And thank goodness there's sports. And 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
This summer, Big Chief Tire is teaming up with local nonprofit V for Victory to support local families impacted by cancer. Frank Frangie here to participate. Donate school supplies at any of Big Chief's locations, including Orange Park, Westside, Blanding, Southside, and Northside locations, and receive 10% off your next service. Together, we can make a difference in the Jacksonville community. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to see the full wish list and learn more. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Wednesday is Free Friday at 1010XL's Restaurant of the Day, John Smith Subs. Experience the thrill of the grill and get free fries with any sandwich purchase all day today. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges at JTV.
Dave and Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, you have worked for Zero Res since you were 9 years old. What makes Zero Res the right choice for cleaning carpets and tile?
I can think of 3 simple reasons. We have the best process, the best people, and our promise to do the best cleaning possible every time.
So what deals does Zero Res offering for this month?
July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, so for home carpet cleaning, we're offering $49 per room, and for businesses, we're offering 20% off.
Sounds like a great time to get your carpets cleaned. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Hey Jaguar friends, I'm Donovan Darius, former 10-year NFL strong safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hosting my free Tackling Technique Jaguars camp for kids ages 10 to 14 on July the 27th. This Jaguar camp will have some of my former Jaguar teammates out there coaching the kids on all the fundamentals that it takes to be a great tackler. To get involved, just go to DariusNextLevelTraining.com to sign up your kids ages 10 to 14. If you'd like to sponsor, you can go to the same website, DariusNextLevelTraining.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg from Underwoods. Clayton, you can buy almost anything today on the internet. What about loose diamonds and how they are priced?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because we did some research on the internet to see how diamonds price on the various websites like Blue Nile, and what we found were diamonds of the same shape, weight, color, and clarity had vastly different prices, which probably had something to do with how the diamond was cut. But the only way to see the diamonds was to buy them. So we did a price comparison on diamonds where we could tell the diamonds were nicely cut, and what we found were our prices for beautifully cut Underwood diamonds were the same as theirs. So if you're shopping for diamonds and want real expert help, real quality and value, and don't want to pay just to look at a diamond, come by Underwoods. And remember, when a diamond comes from us, you get all the services, assurances, and guarantees the people in North Florida have learned to expect for over 80 years.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com. Where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. After practice today, Tyson Campbell mentioned how he has been taking rookie Jerrion Jones under his wing to groom him for success in the NFL.
I've just been seeing growth and growing up and getting comfortable in this scheme and this speed of play. You know, I told him I'm going to hold him to a standard, and he's going to do the same for me. And that's for all the guys. You've been blessed enough to play at in this league, and people are put here to help you and, you know, help you grow, and so you can be able to stay in this league and be able to take care of your family one day.
The third-round draft pick has been turning heads in his first handful of practices in the teal and black. With Jones having teammates to look up to, such as Tyson Campbell, who will be the highest-paid NFL cornerback this season, success should come with continued hard work. It's 89 degrees at 5:01 time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
And the best in the business, my friend Zach Ricketts and all the folks at Ricketts Electric. You can call them at 904-320-5960. Whatever you need from them, they do it. They do our stuff at our home. Boy, oh boy, have they been a big factor in the Bregan Baseball Complex for walk-off charities over there at Fourth Family Park. It's the best new name in electricians, I can promise you that, and the word is out. Ricketts Electric is all around. If you need an electrician, my buddy Zach will tell you. He's a really good dude, too. You're going to like Zach. 904-320-5960. That's Ricketts Electric. They're the best in the business. They been out to your house yet, the Ricketts folks?
Not yet, but the second we have a problem, that's who I'm calling.
Yeah, exactly. He's been out to our house. He's spent more time at our ballpark. He's tired of us, I'm sure. So he does a wonderful job.
He's a great guy.
Ricketts elector. Jack really is a good guy. Trevor Lawrence is a good dude. Trevor spoke to the media today. Boy, I've got high hopes for Trevor. But it's interesting. He had a lot of things to say, and he reiterated what he said before. He had so many injuries, telling you he didn't feel healthy till a couple months into the year.
It was probably getting close to March. I'd say that's kind of what I would say is March. I felt pretty good. Started training hard again. I did some stuff before that, but it was really just trying to get healthy and not push too hard early so I could get my body back. But yeah, just a couple things linger in, and then you obviously nurse those the back half of the season and never have a chance to heal. So it takes some time to work through it.
Ankle, knee, shoulder, and a concussion. And boy, those injuries were frustrating for Jaguars quarterback a year ago.
I wouldn't say as much scary as it was just frustrating. That's something, obviously, in football, you're going to deal with things every week that bother you and that nag you a little bit, but, not to the extent that some of the stuff I was dealing with isn't what I'm used to. So it can be frustrating of going out there and not being able to practice full speed and not being able to get some of the reps that you want to get, and then going into the game and feeling like you're a little bit limited. But that's this business.
And one of the things he learned, no matter what else you do in this league, you better find a way to stay healthy.
That was a big emphasis this offseason is keeping my strength up and getting in great shape to where I can stay healthier. Obviously, you can't control everything. It's a physical game, but you can control some of the hits you take, getting out of bounds, getting down, getting rid of the ball, some of those things to try to stay healthy so I can play my best down the stretch. So that's a big point of emphasis for me this year.
Another guy that was hurt is Christian Kirk, who's become one of Trevor's really good friends. They play golf together, they talk together, they hang out together. Trevor hated to see that happen as well.
Yeah, we're really close, really good friend, with him and Ozzie, and, obviously my wife Marissa, we're all really tight. So I think having him, obviously the player he is and the position he plays, the communication between a slot receiver like him and myself, the quarterback, like that's important on the field. And that chemistry you see out there, but I think it also ties into our relationship off the field, and that's helped us be better on the field. And just being able to trust him, he's a pro, he does everything the right way ever since he's been here. So I've always respected that, and we've hit it off, personally, just off the field and become really good friends.
And Trevor, being that close to Christian Kirk, knows a lot about what Christian went through with his injury and kind of detailed a little bit of it today.
Yeah, I think obviously it's hard dealing with injuries, especially when you're a player like Christian, who's such a big contributor to the team. And but it's football, and you understand that things happen that you can't control. An injury like his is pretty serious, and so obviously you want him out there because he helps our team, but there's nothing he can do. So I was just trying to keep him up, and I think everyone did a good job of just encouraging him and checking in on him, and he did a good job handling his rehab, and he tried his hardest to come back, and it just didn't work out, and obviously didn't make the playoffs. So who knows what would have happened if we would have won that game in Tennessee. But I know he was trying his hardest to come back, which was crazy to even see that, that kind of injury, and he was, kind of considering trying to push to come back. That shows he didn't have to do that. That's a guy who's made a lot of money, who's proven himself in this league, who's been a great player for us, and honestly probably shouldn't have come back last season after that injury. And him trying to come back to help the team, I think that says enough about who he is.
Yeah, and he almost did make it back. He would have played in a playoff game if they had made one. Almost played against the Titans. I thought he might that week based on everything I was hearing. And finally, about that, Trevor said they could really tell what a difference there was without Christian on the field.
It's never easy being hurt and just having to watch, especially when he got hurt, how much we struggled. It seemed like we couldn't find our groove. I know that was tough for him, and he wished he could be out there. But, at the end of the day, we got to pick him up. We got to have guys step in. I got to play better. A lot of things went wrong down the stretch that isn't just to do with him, but, all of us have to pick up that.
And one of the things that went wrong, and Trevor admits to this, is he turns the ball over too much. He knows that. I think he's going to be a really good player and have a really good career, and it's going to start this year. But he admitted it. He's admitted to anybody that'll ask that he's got to fix the turnovers.
It's more of what I've talked about in the past is just the ball security in the pocket and in space running and not putting the ball on the ground. That's something that I control that's easier to control, honestly, I think, than sometimes the passing game. So that's really what I got to fix. So I put a big emphasis on that of just securing the ball in the pocket when I'm moving around, when I'm scrambling. That's something that obviously I got to fix.
And during game speed, how do you fix it?
just being smart, knowing when, some situations, knowing when to take a sack. A lot of them are coming from you're getting tackled and you're trying to escape, so the ball gets loose or whatever, and then it gets hit from somebody else. So that's one instance. If you're getting sacked, just sometimes you just got to take it and go down in space, tucking it, not getting wide, taking certain hits. And then in the pocket, it's two hands, it's tight to the body. When you feel the pocket collapsing, it's being able to tuck it, all those things.
The comment of Trevor Lawrence. He's got the new contract. He's the undeniable leader of this team's offense. And boy, Hays, I think he's going to have a big year. Maybe I just am that guy. Well, heck, I am that guy. I'm always positive thinking it. The glass is kind of 3/4 full for me most of the time. But boy, I think he's going to have a big year. When I think he's healthy, he's learned, he's got that really good receiving core and a great tight end and a great running back. My goodness, I think he's going to have a big year.
And I think that they are, livid might be too strong, but certainly I think they're motivated by the fact that they've been passed over. And that's certainly the league perception, is that, whatever window they had was open for a year and now it's closed because here comes the Houston Texans. And so I think from a mentality standpoint, they're in about as good a situation as you could be in because they're incredibly tight. I mean, Trevor and Christian Kirk, that could end up being, one of the best teammate relationships that we've seen here.
They're really close.
Imagine what Lawrence to Kirk, what that connection how that might be thought of a decade from now. And so I think that's across the board. So I think they've got good team unity, but certainly I think they're incredibly motivated by the collapse. And I think it makes them dangerous. And they're just so talented. Trevor Lawrence has all the talent that you need to be successful at the NFL level. His instincts have to get better, and we're not going to know that until he gets back out there. But his instincts have gotten better through his career, and he's still such a young player, as many of them are on this roster, that, again, they should still be ascending in terms of what they are going to be at this level. So, yeah, I think there's definitely reasons to be optimistic that, they're going to have a really strong team this year.
If they can block, there's, barring an injury, there's no other element of the game that scares me. It doesn't mean they'll be great. I don't know if their kicker's going to be good. They're going to have a new kicker possibly. The new kickoff rule is going to be, who knows. But in terms of if they're healthy, I think the defensive line is going to be very good. I think the linebackers, not a deep core, but the front group is good. I like what the secondary. There'll be some newness, but I like the athleticism back there. I love the receiving room. You know how I feel about Trevor and about Travis Etienne. I want to be confident about the line. Does that make sense? I want to get there. I want to get to where I think of this offensive line, and I think they re-signed Ezra Cleveland, who's a really good player. They brought in Mitch Morris, who had so many good years both in Kansas City and Buffalo. Anton Harrison will be even better. Cam Robinson's been a stalwart. I want to get there because I know Phil Rauscher's a very good line coach. I know they've got good pieces. I'm not there yet. Are you there yet?
No. How could you be there?
Yeah, that's right.
You still have to see it. And
that's right. That's right.
It's that's a verdict that won't be rendered until we get into late September and we've seen them play a couple of games and we have an idea. I think all their answers make sense. And again, they've got some things that are unique. They've got 3 tackles for 2 spots. There aren't a lot of teams in the NFL that have that. Usually in the NFL, you know who your 2 starting tackles are, and you're praying your swing tackle never has to play a significant snap.
Right.
That's really not the situation here. They've got 3 pretty good tackles. You hope Anton Harrison becomes a superstar. Cam Robinson is sort of what he is, which is an average left tackle. And Walker Little has a lot of upside because he hasn't played much, but obviously the clock is ticking on whether he's ever going to be a factor here because he's in the final year of his deal. But you do have 3 pretty good options for 2 spots. That's a good, unique situation to have along your offensive front. But, yeah, it just comes down to the age, I think, with Sheriff and, even with Morse, I mean, he is an older player. I mean, he is in his 30s. So, how much does he have left? This is a new team. It's a new system. Like, it doesn't always mesh as well as you think it's going to. And, I think Ezra Cleveland, that was a good re-signing. I don't have a lot of issues there. I mean, if we're comparing him to Ben Barch, who was at this time last year was sort of the thought to be incumbent at left guard, Ezra Cleveland is 3 times the player that Ben Barch is.
Right. And they were even though he wound up on the 49ers, they missed on him and they moved on, which is a good thing. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's keep it on the Jag. Today's Jaguars Day. We'll touch on some other things at the bottom, but let me touch on some Jag. Let me go through some players. Some players we didn't get to. Might have flashed, might not have flashed. Let's see where we are on some guys. Again, first day of training camp, all Jaguar talk today. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Rocking the boat with summer sports talk.
So let's go for a ride.
Climb aboard with 1010XL.
Aye, Captain.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Catch all the interviews and analysis of this year's ACC kickoff.
Sold out crowd, Doak Campbell Stadium.
Coverage on 1010XL is brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local Union 234, and Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
1010XL keeps you company with sports takes and local talk.
Well, then that's exactly what we'll do.
Saturday from noon to 2.
Got any ideas who this mystery man might be?
It's Compton and Company.
What if word about this gets out?
On 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, weekend warriors. It's Matt Hays. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major. Year 1. Think about it. fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey folks, Curtis Dvorak here. Are you a golfer, a pickleball player, or a concert lover? Well, if you said yes to any of those, join me for the first ever Patriot Games on Saturday, September 21st at the Yards in Ponte Vedra. All proceeds benefit Operation New Uniform, which is a transition training program for service members, veterans, and military spouses. For more information, visit onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org. Hope to see you there.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
The 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris feature incredible athletes and is the third time the Olympics will be held in Paris. If you're planning to attend, USAPark.net Airport Parking salutes your support of our American athletes. So no matter where you're going, whether you're traveling to the Olympics to support our athletes or just visiting Grandma, remember to park at USAPark.net.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Ricketts Electric Wednesday on The Frangie Show. Ricketts Electric, the power connection you can trust.
We thank our friends from Ricketts Electric. Again, the best in the business for commercial, residential, you name it. They do a fantastic job. Frangie and Carlyon with you, JJ La Selva as well. One more Jaguar segment. Then I got some different stuff at the bottom of the hour. Some names. How's that going to do? You ready? I'm giving you names.
I like it.
I'm gonna go through. I got a handful of names written down here. Gabe Davis. What are your expectations for Gabe Davis?
I think he's going to catch a lot of touchdowns. I think it's going to be similar because I think his role is going to be similar as it was in Buffalo, and I think he's still got a very talented quarterback. So I think for Gabe Davis, I think he's clearly the third behind Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram in the hierarchy. But I think he's going to catch 7 or 8 touchdowns.
Brandon Sheriff, what's left?
Nothing. I think they're going to be in trouble there.
Cooper Hodges beat him out?
I don't think
won't beat him out to start the season.
Yeah, I don't think beat him out, but I would guess that Brandon Sheriff does not start the majority of games at right guard for them this year.
Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker, the starting ends. What about Trevis Gibson, the guy that they brought in to sort of be the third edge, probably the most prominent third edge from the Bears? What do you think?
I'm going to say that doesn't work out as well as they'd hoped. He'll have some impact, but I'll say his sacks come in at like 3.5.
Yeah, he's a guy I can't get a good feel. What I like is I think between Eric Armstead, who's going to play outside some, Mason Smith, who can play both, Roy Robertson-Harris, who's long and athletic. Obviously, Ledbetter played some last year. They drafted Jordan Jefferson, who's the nose guard. I think the numbers on that side of that spot are pretty good. I think they are too. But I don't know what to think of Trevis Gibson. I'm gonna lump them together. Chad Muma, Ventrell Miller. What are your expectations for those two guys? Because one of them is going to be a starter in the base formation.
That's correct. I think decent is probably what's going to happen there. I think it's either going to be a hole or it's going to be decent and nothing more.
Yeah, I love Ventrell Miller. Now, I still don't see him playing Sam linebacker. And we'll see. And even if we do see him line up there, that's not our job. That's not our position to tell you who's lining up where. That's up to the Jaguars to tell you that. One of the things we do when they let you come to practice. Now, I guess with the fans there, it's a little different. Because the fans can see it. But still, I'm not going to go into formations.
Yeah.
But I still don't see, even if they line him up there at practice, I just don't see him as a Sam linebacker. I think he's a middle linebacker. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I do.
I think he's a guy. I think he's a kind of a sideline-to-sideline guy. I just don't see that. Darnell Savage, who was a non-contact today, but Darnell Savage.
I like Savage. I was surprised when they announced the signing that he was going to be a nickel because obviously he's been a safety for the vast majority of his NFL career.
I was too.
But I'm intrigued and I'm excited about the potential. He's certainly from a speed standpoint really fills it well. I think he's certainly a willing tackler. So I know that's been a knock on him is his tackling fundamentals, but I don't think it's a lack of wanting to do it. So I actually feel pretty good. I mean, I don't think he'll be like a star or anything, but I could see Savage having, like that Aaron Colvin, DJ Hayden, where it's like, he's a pretty good player. You feel pretty good about him being on the field.
And those guys were good nickels.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Colvin was a really good nickel in the good defense year, 17. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Parker Washington. Doesn't move the needle for you, does it?
Doesn't. I get that, he's received a lot of praise and everything. I just don't really see the role if everybody's healthy. So it kind of starts with that. But, I would say I'm not expecting much production there.
What's your receiver room? Off the top of your head.
I would say it's Kirk, Davis, Thomas, Duvernay, Washington, and Cooks,
Jones, Cephas, one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
Right. Tim Jones, I say this all the time. Tim Jones is such a good special teams player, but you don't get the sense he's ever given you much at receiver.
Right.
Elijah Cooks, now that he's been around a little bit, Joshua Cephas, someone that they like, possibly could give you something at wide receiver, right? I just don't. And again, maybe we noticed it because we saw every game. But when Tim Jones was coming in, it was a 3 tight end set. They were running the ball.
Right.
I mean, there were 3 tight ends in him, and they were running the ball. So so it'll be interesting to see. Any surprise guys? Anybody that you think we should watch this? Are there any watch this guy guys that nobody knows about?
I think there's a chance for Tyler Lacey. It's a deep room, but he's going into his second year. Let's see on Armstead. I think he's going to be fine, but even if once he's 100% from this, he is an older player. So are you going to be able to count on Eric Armstead for 17 games? Tyler Lacey is a player. I think Mason Smith is going to be really good in time. I don't know that will be his rookie year in the NFL. So in looking at it, I think there is a little bit of room there between that elite front line and the depth pieces for somebody to emerge. So I'll say Tyler Lacey.
Yeah, and look, it's okay to be in a deep room, in a room where you play, in a position where you play a lot of guys.
Right.
I do want to keep, and I watched today, I know you did too. I do want to keep watching Jarian Jones. So much is made of him. They drafted him to be a nickel and to compete with Savage. They learned when he was here that he also could play outside. You and I kind of think he might win that job. But again, Darby looked good today. He had an interception today, looked good. But Jarian Jones might be another one of those guys that in 2 or 3 years we're going, wow. I remember when Yannick Ngakoue, we didn't know much about him. He was a third-round pick. They had some stars on defense. He wasn't one. But we learned pretty quick there's something there. I almost think is Jarian Jones a defensive back version of Yannick Ngakoue as an edge? Possibly?
Yeah, it's a great call. Yeah, absolutely. I think that could happen. And they were taken in the same round and kind of had the same story because I think with Ngakoue, if memory serves, obviously he wasn't here for a local pro day because he was out of Maryland. They worked him out privately up there.
Right.
And that's where they fell in love with, I think, was it Wash that worked him out? Somebody worked him out on staff up there. Right, they sent
I think it was Wash.
And they were convinced that Yannick Ngakoue has been a big-time NFL player. He's just limited in what he can do. But he, in terms of getting after the quarterback, he's outstanding. he's still on the market. He's taking visits. I think I saw a report he went from the Dolphins to the Panthers, so he's working out there. So we'll see if he finds a job. But yeah, Jarian Jones, we talked about the connection that they had with him at the local pro day here, obviously being an FSU standout. Yeah, I think it's a great call because, the Ngakoue pick wasn't met with really any national fanfare.
That's right.
Honestly, it was probably even knocked, and it ended up being a good pick. And I think Jarian Jones is going to end up being a very good pick.
Final thing. It's you're down 2. It's late. 14 seconds to play. You're on the road in Philadelphia on a Sunday night on the national broadcast system. Down 2. 2nd and 8 doesn't matter. I'm changing the clock. There's 8 seconds left in the game. 2nd and 8 seconds to play. You're on the 32, right hash.
Mm-hmm.
Down 23-21 to the Eagles. And on comes Cam Little. Are you confident in Cam Little on a Sunday night in the Commonwealth?
I don't even have to watch the kick. I just start heading down because I know the Jaguars just won 24-23.
There you go. See, how good is that?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we'll take a break. 1:07 to go on the program. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
With the Steelers, Colts, Cowboys, and Atlanta Falcons all reporting to training camp on Wednesday, now looking ahead to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Both the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers are plus 600 to win the Super Bowl. They both appeared in Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. The Baltimore Ravens are plus 1,000 to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. The Detroit Lions, who came up short of Super Bowl 58 in the NFC Championship game, are plus 1,200. The Philadelphia Eagles are plus 1,300. The Houston Texans plus 1,500 to win the Super Bowl. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010XL.
Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to duckrooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's duckrooter.com. Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
If you're from the South, you know all about fried green tomatoes and BLTs, so put some South in your mouth and get to Bono's to try the fried green tomatoes appetizer served with Reggie Ranch and one-of-a-kind Bono's BLT with smoked brisket, lettuce, and fried green tomatoes served with one southern side. Frank Frangie here, and I'm telling you, I love fried green tomatoes, and this sandwich is out of sight. So head to your local Bono's today. The fried green tomatoes appetizer and BLT is a summer sensation. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
This is Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. We've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here, and it's changing the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your home. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. I love the roulette. It's so much fun. It is so easy, and you can't find it anywhere that's better than MyBookie. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL and a revamped loyalty program ensuring a host of exclusive VIP perks. Don't miss out on the revamped MyBookie Casino. Use promo code 1010XL. Don't forget that. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jerry and Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra, maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. 1010
Take.
Frangie's 1010 Take is brought to you by Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows K-12, a tuition-free A-rated school. Enroll now at baymeadowscharter.org.
In the news today, it was a shocking thing to me that the NCAA is going to allow higher scholarship levels than ever. 105 football scholarships. It was that way back in the day, and then whittled down to 85. A lot of the Olympic sports are getting more scholars. The big one that jumped off the page is baseball, which has had 11.7 scholarships is all it was allowed. Now we'll have 34. They went up 22 scholarships. It sounds like good news. More people playing. It's not, because it will really help or really hurt the mid-level schools. The JUs and the UNFs of the world had trouble paying for that 11.7. There's a lot of times in their existence that they weren't fully funded to get to their 11.7. Well, the Floridas and the FSUs will always be able to fund whatever. So the gap between the mid-major schools and the major schools just got enormously bigger with the ability for the major schools to offer more scholarships. Again, it's great that there's, on the surface, more kids will get to play college athletics for free. That's a good thing. But the reality is the chasm between the two levels has never been bigger, and it will be because of that, and that's the 10-10 take.
Very good. Do we need 105 football scholarships?
No, you don't.
We still are just playing 11 guys on the field at the same time. I get we have an offense and a defense, but 105 guys on scholarship?
And it was 105 in the 80s, and then it went down to 95 and then 85. But it was 105 during all through the 80s. That was the number. It was 105. And then it went to 95, and then it went to 85, so they're just going back up. But does baseball need 34 full ones? You play 9 guys.
Yeah, seems
you play 9 guys, you have 4 or 5 backups, and you got 12 pitchers. That's 25,
It's also weird, too, because we're seeing schools, again, the elite, the really well-funded, elite conference schools are they're now even getting around the scholarship limits because through NIL, they're paying players that are walk-ons.
That's right.
They're just basically like, well, we don't have room for you.
And that's one of the reasons they did it, is because people are skirting it anyway.
Yeah.
So why not? Why not do it through your school, through your system, if you now have the money anyway? It's just a goofy thing. So see what ends up happening. Hey JJ, I now think your concerns about the Braves are legit.
Yeah. Most of mainstream baseball watching America is just now realizing the Braves suck, man.
Yeah, and they don't suck yet. They're still 8 games over. They're still in the playoffs. If it was they're comfortably in the wild card. They're the first wild card team if it was today. But by the Braves standards, to your point, it's real, isn't it?
And looking down the road the rest of the season, can they hang on? The injuries are really adding up. They were terrible before the injuries, and now it's like, whoa, this is today. I literally had to turn the game off after 4 hitters.
I've been there
because it was noon
most of the time.
Yeah, I was in the gym, and 4 batters in was the dumbest little league play where our right fielder misplayed it, and then the second baseman on the cutoff, the ball slipped out of his hands, so the guy had a double that turned into a home run, and it was just you know what? This isn't motivating my workout right now. I'm just going to turn it off. And by the time I got home, we were down 4-1, so I was like, I'm just not going to watch this today, and I feel better for it.
In the standings, if they were in the same division, the Pirates would be 2.5 games behind the Braves.
Wow.
I'm not sure the Braves are better.
Not right now.
I'm not sure the Braves are better, and I can't tell you the last time I said that. And so, but I've been watching the Braves. I still think they're so good and been so good for so long and know how to play that they'll find a way to not have this season become the complete disaster.
And they'll probably get into the wild card.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Are they getting anybody back?
Yeah, Harris has a hammy that he's supposed to come back center fielder, but he's been out for 6 weeks. They said it was going to be 6 weeks. He's already over that. There's a big question mark next to Max Fried, but I assume he'll be back.
I would assume.
Yeah, you're right. But no, most of these guys, it's all season for Acuna. It's all season for Strider, and Ozzy. It'll probably be the rest of the season with a broken wrist.
Can they tank for Carson Beck?
Well said. But I mean, Marcell Ozuna's having a career year.
It's just sad we're wasting it.
Yeah, he's at 28.80 and 306. After that.
Yikes.
I mean, Matt Olson's hitting 223,
and that's his high of the season.
Yeah, correct. And Austin Riley's at his high of the season, and he's been terrible. He's finally at 255. Albies, who's down now, he was 258 with 8 home runs. He's a better player than that.
I have a lot of opinions about him.
Yeah, what are they?
He's a right-handed hitter. I don't know why the Braves have allowed this for 5 years now, but he is not a left-handed hit. He loves to switch hit, and he is so obviously a right-handed batter, so much better from that side of the plate. And they've talked to him before about switching permanently, and he just refuses to do it. I think we're at the point now, honestly, where you don't have a choice. Yeah. You're going to be batting right-handed as long as you're an Atlanta Brave player.
I mean, Adam Duvall over the years has been a good player. He's hitting 184.
So washed.
He is. Sean Murphy's been hurt most of the time. The guy they got to be their catcher, who's better than d'Arnaud, He's hitting
not this year.
Yeah, he's hitting 212.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe if we get Rebecca De Mornay in the clubhouse, it'll spark those
there
Atlanta
you go.
bats.
Exactly right. The slugger's wife. It's just to me. I'm watching it, and I've always the Braves are always the team that I said, okay, they'll figure this out. They'll figure this out, and eventually they'll be okay. I don't think so now. Again, they're going to make the playoffs. They'll be in the wild card. But it won't feel like a Braves season.
Just look at their lineup today. It's just like filled with guys that should be in the minors.
Where is Rafael Ramirez batting today?
Oh, love Rafael. Love. Who doesn't love Rafi?
My favorite Rafael was Rafael Furcal.
Remember?
A little bit later on, but
he was good though.
Oh yeah.
Rafael Ramirez made 32 errors one year as a starting shortstop.
That's all I remember is Rafael Ramirez had some tough nights when I was a kid watching the Braves.
Made 32 errors. 32 errors. 32 is the starting shortstop.
That's unbelievable.
Even the Astros, who started off clunky and they're still only 3 games over.
Oh, they're going to win that division.
But in a bad division, they're all lumped in there together now. But they're going to win the division. It's just been.
I always had faith in them.
Yeah,
pat myself on the back.
They got a lot of good players.
Yeah,
though. I mean they got so we'll see. So it's going to be a very interesting last couple months of the season.
So is it Dodgers, Phillies, and the NLCS would be anything
Probably.
other than that would be a shock at this point? I know it's baseball and things can happen.
The Brewers have a good team, but the Dodgers and the Phillies are way better. Yeah, the Brewers do have a good team. They don't have a team as good as the Dodgers and the Phillies, but it's just. I mean, I watched that Phillies. The Pirates of the Phillies just played a 3-game set, and the Phillies have good hitters at the 7 and 8 hole.
They're struggling too, though.
Yeah, beat them 2 out of 3.
Lost today again.
Yeah, so they have struggled, and I told my friend Joe Fortunato, I said, congratulations on winning the 1 game in that series, Joe. I said, Joe, you'll pat me on the head when they win yet another World Series. But anyway, it's gonna be an
JJ, can you imagine if the Pirates won like 20 of their next 24 on top of this already sizzling?
Yeah,
forget the Jags talk.
What this show would be.
Yeah, as badly as I would feel for our listeners, it would be even worse for you guys, and I would say this.
I kind of find it in a sense charming because it's cool that it's always cool when you see a team that's struggled for a long time and they have this phenom. I mean, who doesn't like Paul Skeens?
Right.
So I mean,
and he's
it is a
given
cool
the whole
story.
team like energy.
Yeah.
He only plays once every 5 or 6 days, but they are playing lights out whether he's on the mound or not.
They're like 10 games over since they pulled him up.
Yeah.
You know that? Wow. They're like 10 games over. Since, now, it's not just him, but they're like 10 games over. I mean, really, to explain, think about this. JJ, you were born in 1990?
Correct.
Okay. The last time the Pittsburgh Pirates won a division, you were 2.
Wow.
Think of
I just remember those. I guess those McCutcheon teams were all wild card teams.
13, 14, and 15, they were good, but they didn't win the division because the Cardinals did. They haven't won a division since 92.
Damn.
If you
I didn't realize that.
Want perspective, 92 is the last time they won a division.
Braves have won like 20 plus since then.
They really have, and so but yes, that would be a fun time. Well, wouldn't that be a fun ride? All right, the Pirates they're hosting the series against the Braves. Go to Pittsburgh for the second round.
As the Jags have opened the season 4-0.
Yeah, right.
Be like the greatest month ever.
I don't understand why the Frangie Show only talked about the Jags a couple minutes. You would think 4-0, You would think 4-0 that they would with that 48-7 win over Buffalo, you would have thought we'd get more attention. Who would have thought Travis Etienne was going for 230 in that game? Maybe mentioned in the second segment. So there's that. So hey, it is getting close. So obviously football has started. We've been a lot of places today. Let's do a cool down, JJ.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
You knew it'd be a lot of Jags talk today, and it was. Hays caught up with Christian Kirk. The first of his Hays Carlyon one-on-ones was today, and it was fantastic. You heard the comments of Doug Peterson from the podium today, also the comments of Trevor Lawrence from the podium, and we really kind of just went through who got our attention, who didn't. Hays did a great job, as he always does, with headlines. But, it was a fun day to watch the Jags. It's fun when they're back on the field. It certainly feels like a preseason without many storylines of note, which makes for a good preseason. No drama. There's nobody they didn't get signed. There's nobody unhappy with their contract, you wouldn't think. There's nobody of note on the PUP. Eric Armstead's on the PUP. He'll be back. But there's nobody. There's no injuries of significance. There's no suspensions.
No looming suspensions.
Yeah, this is just a good, calm preseason training camp. Hays for what could be a very good team.
Yeah, and I'm excited about tomorrow. Ryan Nielsen's going to meet with the media at 8:15 before practice, and I'm eager to hear him tomorrow and what he talks about. Obviously, when we met with him in OTAs, he was very adamant, hey, there is no depth chart. Well, now you're into camp, so you have a little bit of wiggle room, but the depth chart's going to have to start getting a little firmer as the weeks play out here. So excited to hear from Ryan Nielsen tomorrow, because I think this is only the third time he's met with us, and he's been really good both times. So interested to get his insights on some of these young Jaguar defenders that we've got big expectations for, and obviously the established veteran players that have already shown what they can do at this level.
Yeah, and I will tell you that if it stays the way it is, and defensively, to your point, they're going to be a fun defense to watch. The defensive line, by the way, have you noticed how much weight they've gained? How much bigger they are? Have you seen Josh Allen? Josh Hines Allen?
We talked about it at OTAs. He was in the best shape I've ever seen him in. And he's always been in great shape.
They list him at 255. No chance.
No chance.
He's north of 270. And he's I'm telling you. He's got to be.
Imagine going.
I think bigger than that.
Yeah, going to the line of scrimmage. Every quarterback that faces the Jaguars this year, if they're healthy, you've got to go to the line of scrimmage, and you've got to identify Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, and that's got to be at least a smidge intimidating, even for the best signal callers in the league.
There's no question, and I will tell you, and I mean this definitively, if they're good on defense, look out, because they're going to be good on offense. They got the pieces. I'll tell you right now. I mean, barring just a ridiculous rash of injuries. I mean, that changes anybody's team.
Sure.
But barring a ridiculous rash of injuries, I'm telling you, they're going to be good on offense. I am telling you, and camp seems long because you can't wait to get to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You just can't wait to get there. Just can't wait to get to Miami. So camp seems long for that reason. But boy, oh boy, I think that's good. I do. I think they're going to have a special team, and I'm excited about what I think they'll be. And I'm excited about that. We'll talk some college football coming up in a week. Coming up, when are the college teams on the field?
Is that usually like early August?
I think maybe the 31st.
Okay, that would make sense because Florida opens. Florida State will be the first, right? Because they've got the first game.
They should be on the field
like
next
later
day or
this
two.
week.
I saw DJU throwing it around today.
Oh, that's right. I
so
saw
they
that.
opened today?
So they must be practicing. Yeah. That's exciting. You got FSU working.
Yeah.
And the Florida-Miami game is August 31st. So I got to think if you're the Gators and Canes, you're on the field
within a week.
Yeah, it was Miami's Miami's day at Media Days today. It didn't really have the effect that I saw UCLA's new coach had at Big Ten Media Days.
He's a
if you haven't seen that, please watch it.
He was fantastic out here. Huh? I haven't watched it. You guys were telling me during the break.
It's 90 seconds of dead air, so it's kind of hard to play on the radio, but it's hilarious. And at one point he says, I know you guys don't know much about us. Pause for a very long time. And then he says, but we're from Los Angeles.
That's fantastic.
Another pause for about 30 seconds.
Was he going for a joke? I mean, was he going?
No.
He wasn't.
I think he honestly just froze up.
Yeah.
You know when you see a public speaker and suddenly the teleprompter goes out?
Yeah.
It was like that, but he never had a teleprompter or a script or literally any idea of what he was going to say.
And sometimes stand-up comics will lose their train of thought. And of course you don't see this on their specials, but they'll have to take a second to kind of gather themselves and remember where they were. It was like that, except he just then gave up and basically was like, questions.
Yeah, they usually do pick it up and remember where they were at, but not this one. So please go watch that.
Folks, that is our program. Thank you for being part of it. We are out of here. But man, oh man, it's a fun time of year. Football is here. Rick Ballou is next. Don't go anywhere. We're out of here. More training camp talk tomorrow. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.